If you're unfortunate to work under a director that is damaged, you are going to go through a lot of suffering. Or a permanent secretary who does not know any bounds, who is only interested in acquisition and acquisition and acquisition. Those who come through that process, by the time they get to that level, they're going to do the same thing over and over.
If I respect my children, I will not want to steal their future now that I'm in office. If I respect my parents and I want them to have a good old age, I will not want to steal the things now while in office that will provide for that good old age for them.
Welcome to Transparency Files, ICPC's weekly television program. I am your host, Hawasani Garba. Every year on August 19th, the world observes Humanitarian Day, a day to honor those who serve humanity and to reflect on the values of dignity and integrity. The 2025 global theme is strengthening global solidarity and empowering local community. In Nigeria and for ICPC, this year's observance is dedicated to a critical question for our nation's progress. How do we strengthen human dignity and integrity in the public and private spaces? In public service, dignity means recognizing citizens as human beings, deserving respect, fairness, and justice. Integrity means that public officials must carry out their duties honestly, transparently, and without abuse of power. When dignity and integrity are absent, corruption grows, trust collapses, and ordinary Nigerians suffer. Today on Transparency Files, we will examine how integrity and dignity can be strengthened in the Nigerian public service. First, let's join Ruth Awodi for this week's highlights on anti-corruption.
Welcome to this segment on anti-corruption stories. I am Ruth Awodi. ICPC has secured the conviction of a civil servant, Mr. Ewere Morgan Esosa, for receiving double salaries in gross violation of anti-corruption laws. Following a detailed investigation, the commission uncovered that Mr. Esosa had been simultaneously drawing salaries from two separate government entities. This act, which contravenes the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000, resulted in the illegal accumulation of the sum of 1,328,255 naira 47 kobo in unearned payments. Upon concluding its investigation, ICPC through its prosecutor, Dennis Inaemeka Okoro, charged Mr. Esosa with 2 counts of obtaining by false pretense and cheating under sections 419 and 421 of the Criminal Code Act 2004. The case was filed before the Edo State High Court, sitting in Benin, following the necessary administrative approvals for prosecution. Subsequently, the defendant entered into a plea bargain agreement with the prosecution. Under this agreement, the initial 2-count charge was amended to 1, to which the defendant pleaded guilty. The agreement allowed him to avoid a custodial sentence under the condition that he fulfill specific terms. In line with the plea deal, Mr. Esosa was sentenced to 1 year imprisonment or a fine of 150,000 naira only. The trial judge also ordered the convict to refund to the federal government of Nigeria through the ICPC recovery account the sum of 1,328,255 naira 47 kobo, which was fraudulently received as salaries. That will be all on this segment. Transparency Files continues with Hawa.
you are just joining us, welcome to Transparency Files. Human dignity is at the heart of ethics and governance. It is the recognition that every person deserves respect and fairness, regardless of background, tribe, or social status. When dignity is upheld, integrity becomes a shared standard that protects everyone. The ICPC's National Ethics and Integrity Policy, NAIP, helps Nigerians understand that corruption is not just about embezzlement, but also about treating others with respect and fairness. Mr. John Ode, Deputy Director, Public Enlightenment and Education Department of ICPC, explains further.
The most commonsensical and logical, practical step to take is to respect every other human being the way you would want to be respected. Respect people for the fact that they are human beings, not because of who or what they are. Treat every person right. Relate with people on the basis of their humanity and the content of their character. If you treat the other person the way you would want to be treated, he will treat the next person too the same way. And it becomes something that is like what you pay forward. The entire community begins to respect one another. And when that happens, you'll find out that people will be more at peace, there'll be less strife, there'll be less stealing, there'll be almost no corruption. Because if I respect you, I will not want to steal from you. If I respect my children, I will not want to steal their future now that I'm in office. If I respect my parents and I want them to have a good old age, I will not want to steal the things now while in office that will provide for that good old age for them. Most of our hospitals are today less than hospitals because of our actions of lack of respect for human dignity.
Beyond policies, dignity is expressed in daily acts such as leaders listening to citizens, employers treating staff fairly, neighbors caring for one another, and institutions ensuring justice is not for sale. Barrister Mrs. Moremi Soyinka Onijala shares how dignity and integrity can be strengthened in public and the civil service, emphasizing the importance of everyday conduct and nurturing a culture of respect and fairness.
Cultural norms, traditional structures, and leadership have both positive and a negative side impact on human dignity. And if we look at human dignity from the perspective of the wellness of human beings, the comfort of human beings, the well-being generally of human beings, you will realize that truly that can be affected by norms and practices and traditions and culture that are prevalent in society. What do we mean by human dignity, And I did say that, okay, it's the totality of, one's well-being. And that well-being is not just physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's psychological, it's financial, it's professional. Let me give you an example. Let's go to the university campuses. If you went to a state school or federal, like I did, and you were 20 in a room that is meant for 4, and you were in university for 5 years if you're lucky, 9 years if you're unlucky with strikes, by the time you come out, you've not had access to water, you've not had a comfortable sleeping environment, your lecturers treat you like commodities. I don't want to go into details, you know what I mean. And so by the time such a person is formed, goes through NYSC and is unleashed on society, there is no way that that person will be quote unquote normal, because that person is damaged and is out probably for revenge or to obtain compensation for the years of lack. So the first opportunity such a person has to earn or to wield authority over others is to perpetuate the indignity that that person has suffered. Speaking specifically about public service, government public service, as a public employee or a civil servant, if you're unfortunate to work under a director that is damaged, you are going to go through a lot of suffering. Or a permanent secretary who does not know any bounds, who is only interested in acquisition and acquisition and acquisition. Those who come through that process, by the time they get to that level, they're going to do the same thing over and over. So it's always, I'm on top now, and this is my chance to grab and do everything, violate all the laws that we know of. They will tell the younger ones, wait for your turn. So that person will truly wait for his or her turn and go on, and the cycle continues. So how do we break it? We have to start from somewhere, and for me, that somewhere starts from leadership at all levels. It's talking about the principal who is asking for illegal levies on students, even after receiving subvention from the government or from the authorities of that school. It comes to traditional rulers who know that they do not have the authority under the constitution and under the respective chiefs' laws of respective states to do certain things but still do it. Levying taxes that the government knows nothing about, taking people's wives because I am the king in this domain and I can take your wife and there's nothing you can do. You know, things like that. It goes into the private sector. We have people who are CEOs of what I call Fortune 500 companies who earn in the millions and billions, and it's not enough. And they pay employees a pittance. There's no way that employee will see a chance to cheat the system and won't do it. And you hear it today. Banks, everybody knows, bank MDs are very comfortable. But when you have people working for 60,000 a month, casualization of labor, that person, the first chance he or she has to steal the money of the client, they will do it. And it's happening all the time. So it's not just the public sector, even in the private sector, there is so much, as we say it colloquially, cheating, that it takes the grace of God for somebody to be exposed to that and still stand. Dignity has been eroded for so long that it loses its meaning. So my appeal is from the leadership, whether within the private sector or the public sector. If you model the right behavior and you go out and let the public know that, sin no more, I am doing it, we're all going to do it. They see that you are sacrificially leading, people will follow. Nigerians are not difficult.
This week on our OCOX segment, Leslie Ehidoru, Esquire from ICPC Legal Services Department, takes us through a recent case where the Commission secured the conviction of Mr. Olaniran Satiregun for offering fake and unaccredited courses in Nasarawa State College. He highlights the real cost of such corruption, the shattered hopes of students, the financial losses to families, and the wider damage to trust in our education system.
Okay, so basically, Mr. Olaniran is or was a rector of a college in Nasarawa State. The school ran a program, and between 2019 and 2021, it was discovered that the institution, the college he runs, commenced offering courses that were not accredited. And this led to a lot of problems for students that enrolled in those programs. The ICPC got informed about it, and we tracked him, arrested him, and prosecuted him successfully in 2024. We secured his conviction, and now he's serving his term in prison. That conviction is a win for the ICPC first and foremost. It's a win for Nigeria. It's a win for Nasarawa State, which is hosting or where the school is located. It's also a win for the students, the victims, who were fraudulently deprived of their opportunity to get quality education. They were deprived of their funds, and they had to pay a lot of money first to get JAMB, good grades from JAMB, enroll in the university, in the college, and only for them to find out that the courses they were enrolled in were not accredited. So it was a big loss to them. And this conviction means that for cases like this, educational fraud in our educational system, justice can be gotten for victims. First things first, I would say that, number one, ICPC is watching you. We are coming for you. Secondly, we would say that Nigerians out there, if you find out that you're enrolled in a college, your family member is enrolled in an institution where they offer courses that are not accredited, please make reports to us. Thirdly, it's a wake-up call to every Nigerian. Before you enroll in an educational institution, you have to do your background checks. Make sure you check with JAMB. We have the regulatory institutions, check with JAMB, check with the NBTE, check with Nigerian Universities Commission. Make sure that the courses these schools present as accredited courses are actually accredited. Because most of the time, you find out that these institutions have very few accredited courses, but in a bid to make more money, have more students, they publicize all sorts of things. And also to institutions themselves. We are in Nigeria. Nigeria is a growing country. Our educational system is vibrant, it's growing. We have a lot of fantastic investors. It's an opportunity for you to take advantage of this case that we've just concluded to look inwards, look at your practices, look at your processes. If they do not meet with the standards, come to ICPC. We can work together on setting up standards that are world-class, and that would also ensure that you run a corrupt-free system, that will ensure that your students get quality education. Because when corruption is taken out of the equation, we can be sure that due process will be done, and students will get quality education, lecturers will get good pay, and the entire educational system would be more trusted by the public.
I am a Nigerian, a highly cultured race. My culture abhors corruption, and with my integrity, a new Nigeria is possible. I say no to corruption today to build a future for my children. Join me and imbibe the culture of integrity to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
As we move towards the end of today's episode, let's join Khadija Ibrahim for updates from our state offices.
From Akwa Ibom State comes a report that the ICPC has conducted a sensitization program for the ICPC NYSC CDS group at the Federal Secretariat in Uyo. The event aimed at promoting anti-corruption values among youth corps members. ICPC's Hope Wobo urged the corps members to embrace patriotism and honesty as key drivers in supporting the Commission's mandates and sustaining the fight against corruption. ICPC Imo State Office has warned hospitals against unethical practices capable of undermining the National Health Insurance Authority program. Speaking at a stakeholders forum organized by the NHIA in Owerri, Mrs. Chinwe Egbeocha stressed that the health insurance, which has provided critical relief to millions of Nigerians, must be safeguarded from fraud and manipulation. From Ondo State comes a report that the ICPC has sensitized senior officials of the Ondo State Universal Basic Education Board on preventive anti-corruption measures to strengthen integrity in the education sector at a training held in Akure. Barrister Kende Adetoye delivered papers on the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 and its key initiatives, including the National Ethics and Integrity Policy. And from Benue State, ICPC has charged young Nigerians to embrace integrity and reject corrupt practices as part of efforts to build a corruption-free generation at the 29th Annual Islamic Vacation Course of the Muslim Student Society of Nigeria in Makurdi. ICPC's Aki Bugarba engaged over 437 students drawn from 7 local government areas and emphasized that instilling values of honesty and accountability in youth remains central to securing a future free of corruption.
Strengthening human dignity and integrity in public service is a daily commitment to fairness, honesty, and respect. With the National Ethics and Integrity Policy as our compass, we can build a Nigeria where dignity is protected, corruption is rejected, and every citizen feels valued. That's all for today's edition of Transparency Files. Join us every Friday at 6:30 p.m. on NTA Network and International. Until next time, I am Hawasani Garba saying bye for now.